Go ahead, sir.
570 Klem Road, telecommunications tower generator located at 570 Klem Road. Applicant American Power Corporation requesting preliminary final site plan approval to allow the installation of an emergency backup generator in an existing telecommunication tower on a .18 acre parcel located in R2 single-family residential district under the Code of Town of Webster.
Yes, sir.
Hello, good evening. My name is Jeff Skolnick. I work for Network Building Consulting on behalf of American Tower. American Tower has an existing cell tower at 570 Klem Road. What they're looking to do is to put in an emergency backup generator. There's no backup power there at the moment. The generator will be shared by any tenant that's on the tower. Currently, T-Mobile is the one looking to tap into this generator, but it will be available for any tenant that's on the tower. It's a concrete pad, 8 foot by 6 foot, with a generator sitting on top. It's a diesel generator. There's a 300-gallon tank underneath the generator with overfill protection and double wall leak protection. It's remotely monitored, so it can be fired up remotely as well as monitored for any leakage. That's pretty much what we're looking to do. Is it goes within the existing fenced-in compound at the base of the tower.
And this, what is this used for? What is a generator? Obviously, electricity used for? What purpose?
Basically, if the power goes out, the network needs to stay intact. So this keeps the power to the existing telecommunications equipment on site. So it's only used in case power goes out. It's a backup generator. It's not going to fire all the time. They do test it once a month for about 5 minutes just to make sure it runs. But outside of that, it wouldn't run unless needed.
You know, are there neighbors here regarding this?
I'm a neighbor.
Some of you are neighbors to it. Okay, so why don't we do this before we get into the details? We'll open it to let them public hearing. I know some of you live obviously right nearby there, so if you want to say, if you have a comment on it, all we ask is go up to the podium, give us your name and address, and what your concern is, okay?
My name is Jeff Wheeler, 635 Drum Road. We're right at the same elevation as the pad for the cell tower. My concerns are where's the discharge for the exhaust for the generator, the noise that will be generated by the generator. It's an 8-foot board-on-board fence there now, and you can hear there is a generator, had been a generator in the existing building. Is that still in use?
Why don't we do this? Yeah.
Okay, so one of my questions here, there is a generator, had been a generator.
Just direct it here, you can ask the questions, you can note them, and then when you're done, you can address them.
Okay, so there is, or had been anyways, a generator in the concrete structure there that houses some of the telecommunications equipment there. So is this redundant to that generator? It said, I was told that the generator will run for approximately 5 minutes once a month. Is that accurate? And then what is the, sort of mitigation for the sound of the generator running? What time will that exercise take place? Thank you.
Well, it's all fresh, if you want to address that, sure.
Sure.
If you want to
As far as the existing generator, I'm not sure if that's there or not. That was the shelter that's there is for Verizon. My company actually works for all the carriers, so I have a little familiarity with it. Verizon shelters sometimes will have a generator inside their shelter. This is a shared generator. It's going to be owned by American Tower for any other carrier there. If Verizon does not have their generator there, they may have taken it out. This generator can be shared by both Verizon, T-Mobile, and whoever else comes to this tower. I don't know if Verizon still, because it would be a private owned generator, if Verizon still has it within their shelter. As far as this generator, the 8-foot fence that's around there will protect this. This is no higher than 8 feet. The exhaust goes straight up. It's basically a cabinet. The generator is enclosed within a cabinet that sits on top of a fuel tank. So it looks just like a square foot. About 3.5 feet wide, about 8 feet tall, and about 7 feet long. So everything is self-contained within the cabinet itself. Noise, there probably will be some noise, but again, it's a contained, enclosed unit. And it's not going to fire, like I said, unless needed. The testing is normally done during the day, during the week. And again, that's only a maintenance once a month, just to make sure it's going to fire when you want it to fire.
Yep.
I think that was everything.
I have a question that I think runs for 3 or 4 days in a row. Are you going to be having diesel fumes across the whole neighborhood?
Well, it's meant to run in case of a power outage.
I know, sometimes they 3, 4, 5 days long, sometimes.
I don't know, it possibly could. I won't say it won't, but hopefully within 3 to 5 days, whatever the problem was is fixed.
How come they use diesel rather than natural gas?
Diesel is predominantly used on almost all of their sites. It's readily available, it's easy to use. Most of these generators are designed to run on diesel. It's a little more cost effective. That's standard basically for what they use. They will use natural gas at some sites if there is no access to diesel, or if they're in a highly sensitive wetlands type area where they'd be concerned about a possible spill. This area doesn't have that.
You said it's a 300-gallon tank. Is there a shelf life on diesel fuel? I mean, you can just sit there forever and...
Again, that's a good question. I really don't know that. That would be part of their maintenance. I would think if there is, they would want to maintain that and make sure that it's, the whole point of this generator is to have it functioning in an emergency. So you don't want things like that to hold you up when the emergency arises. So it's standard maintenance. American Tower has these generators on thousands of sites across the country. Again, predominantly diesel generators, so they've worked out all the bugs and the maintenance schedules and things of that nature.
I'm just concerned we have to run 4 or 5 days in a row, you're going to have diesel fuels.
From what I know, the 300-gallon capacity for this type of generator, it's an 80 kilowatt generator. 300 gallons is only going to run for 48 hours. That doesn't mean they wouldn't fill it up again, but it's a 48-hour run time.
You say that it's tested once a month to see if everything is operating?
Yeah, basically in headquarters, they just flip a switch, it runs for about 5 minutes, they can monitor it from remotely. That's just to make sure the thing is going to run, and that there's no problems.
The reason I question is I have a friend who owns a business that has a diesel generator, and it runs on a Saturday for 10 minutes or whatever, to make sure that it's not fully operational. So you said 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, approximately 5 minutes. I mean, it's not meant, the testing is just to make sure it's going to function. They're not going to run it more than 5, maybe 10 minutes, but at the tops. I've been on sites before where they fire up. It doesn't run very well.
Is there a plan in the works if the test happens and there's no reaction at all in the generator? In other words, do you have a crew or someone sent out to the site to check the generator out?
Yes, they would have someone available to check it out. Again, that's the whole point of a generator. The testing is to make sure it's going to work. If it's not going to work, then they have contractors that they can send out to the site and figure out what the problem is. They can, like I said, they can monitor all that remotely. So if it's not going to work, they'll know it and they'll send someone out. Sure.
I'm sure they don't want it broken down and left there after they put thousands of dollars into it. It serves a purpose, and again, it's for emergency use only. It's not that it's running the program all the way. It's just when you need it, same as a home generator is. They're tested periodically, they're right next to the house, next door to them generally, because they're on the side of the house. They're quiet, relatively quiet, they're like a car. It's not anything that's something like some major farm tractor running out there. And what keeps it going, I guess.
You know,
Nobody wants their cell phones not to work in an emergency, so that's what this is for.
I can understand a diesel generator in remote areas where natural gas is not available. But in this area, natural gas is more than abundantly available. And I go along with John saying, if it's running for 3, 4, 5 days, we're going to get fumes from the diesel. Well, you know, fumes are going to come from diesel engine no matter what. So I think certainly the idea of having a generator is very, very important. When electricity goes out, you want those things to work, especially for emergency. But I don't think that we need a diesel generator when gas is readily available.
Which one is louder, Dave? Which one causes more pollution? You're sure of that?
I
Well,
don't think so.
no,
See, we're thinking that, we don't know that. So that's probably not factual, we don't know. They use diesel because they're dependable,
And it's cheaper.
cheaper? Is it really?
That's what he said.
I don't think they're any cheaper to run. Diesel fuel costs more than gasoline. Okay, it's back there where they've got it located, that's what they use. I don't want to get into,
I'm not worried about noise or anything like that.
I'm more concerned over the other issues of, you know, what it's looking like, how it's being enclosed, and so on and so forth, as opposed to what kind of gas they're using it. And again, my guess is you probably would never see it run for 3 or 4 days. That would be in an extreme emergency. How often did your electric go off? A day? Hours? When's the last time it went off for 3 days around here, 3 or 4 days, you know? And if that did happen and they had to run it, so be it. It's not like it's a monthly program. I don't have an issue with that at all. That's the least of my issues with it. Personally, anyways, anyone else? There were other people, I guess, we had a hand up. Yes, sir.
My name is Ed Varga. I live on 610 Klem Road. That's like 3 doors down from where the cell tower is. Cell tower is right behind the church. And I don't think the generator is necessary from a noise complaint wise because that's a heavily wooded area. That's like glass wooded area in that neighborhood. And everything just echoes in that back neighborhood. And I work at Xerox and they have emergency generators run 10 minutes every month. So once a month, 10 minutes. And also there's RGB substation 100, 150 feet away. And I lived there almost 30 years and I've never lost power once. So I don't think this is necessary at all. Like I said, from a noise complaint, I don't think it's, and I've never lost electricity.
Appreciate it, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Hello. I also live at 610 Klem Road. I think I had a question.
What is your name and address? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Karen Sawyer, 610 Klem Road. This gentleman over here said that there was a generator there already. Is that correct? The one for Verizon. So is there going to be 2 generators on in this unit, or is the Verizon one going to be taken out? Is the Verizon one in use now? Are we going to have 2 going off multiple times throughout the month? And you know, like Eddie said, it does echo. Noises do echo through our neighborhood and you know where we live. So my question is that it's about how many generators on the unit, or, in that area.
I think he did go through it, thank you. Let him, go ahead and address it again. I think you said 1 million already been taken out or something?
Well, I don't know for sure. Typically Verizon shelters, they're basically a concrete, looks like a trailer. And they will have a space for a generator in one of their designs. The design that I look at on the drawings doesn't look like it's that design for a generator, but I don't know. I'm not here to represent Verizon. If Verizon does have a generator, then yes, this would be the second generator on the site. The generator Verizon has, if it's a typical generator that I've seen before on other Verizon sites, is a smaller generator. It would be within their shelter and its own size to function for their equipment. They also own that. So it wouldn't be something that would be available to other tenants on the tower. This generator that American Tower is proposing would be proposed as a shared generator for anybody else on the tower, including Verizon, if they do not have a generator or they wish to take their existing generator, if it is there, they wish to remove that. They would be able to share it. This generator we're proposing is sized appropriately for 3 to 4 carriers.
Is there anyone else? Okay, then we'll close the public hearing, bring it back up. Any comments? Derek, David? Towers are always an issue, one way or another. Now we got to move the generators. It's part of the overall program. And the other thing is, we can have it in the rating.
In regards to sound, reading through the literature that's provided, the structure itself it's a sound deadening structure. And it also has silencer heat shield, and also has silencer housed on the discharge hood. So it has a silencer mounted. So it has silencers built into it, basically with a muffler to reduce the amount of sound, and then the enclosure itself that itself.
That's good, I didn't see that in there.
So this is, I don't see a decibel level on here, but experience with these things myself is probably quieter than when you have in your backyard if you have your own generator.
Okay. All right. Again, this project, and along with just for whatever it's worth, cell towers have always been a touchy thing, and the reality of it is, you're all familiar with what we just approved down on Lake Road in Webster. There was controversy on that, and it ultimately was approved and passed. The FCC can approve these towers like that. It's almost like they're coming in as a courtesy. We have a restriction for height. Height of the tower in Webster, according to the code, is 100 foot. A 100-foot tower is not really all that tall. A lot of times they need to have a little taller. When they do, they have to go to get variances for it, so on and so forth. So we do have restrictions on it, but the reality of it is, whether this gentleman came in tonight with paperwork on this, and if we were to even say no, I don't see it as an issue, it's already there. They could go ahead and do this anyways. Am I correct with that?
That's correct.
Am I right?
Yes.
So they could be able to do it anyways, whether we like it or not.
It's considered a utility.
That's right.
And therefore it's under federal jurisdiction.
Yep.
At least most of it is. As Mr. Kashani stated, there are some restrictions, placement, height. The town, the board, the zoning board, the planning board, enforce, generally speaking. It's a matter of, as you stated, it's a courtesy.
And all these companies in the past, over all the years, I've been here from the very first tower that came into town. Every one of those towers had an issue with it because it was in my backyard. Just call it that, but the companies have always been decent enough to relocate it to change the style of it, put it in another spot on a different piece of property close by, somewhere where it would work. So they are cooperative with things like this. It isn't that you just say, "Oh, heck with you, we're just putting it up." They don't do that. So we do get the best we can get from them, and they in turn cooperate very much with us. That said, everybody's okay with this at this stage? All right, this is for preliminary and a final, I guess, tonight, that piece for this section, for the generator. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so the generators we just pertinent to the existing.
What's that?
The generator is pertinent to the
Okay.
existing. Town of Webster Planning Board consider request by applicant American Tower Corporation to install an emergency backup generator in an existing telecommunications tower on a 0.18 acre parcel having SDL number 063.04-1-10.2/WED located at 570 Klem Road. The planning board classifies the proposed action as a type 2 action under section 617.5C9 of the state environmental quality review regulations, and therefore is not subject to further review.
Second.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Giardina?
Aye.
Mr. Mixel?
Aye.
Mr. Koso?
Aye.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Urbino?
Aye.
Mr. Kashani?
All right. Everybody's okay, I'll move forward with preliminary.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for preliminary approval of 570 Klem Road telecommunications tower generator, subject to PRC comments. Unless you be constructed according to the specifications of Town of Webster. Comply with all requirements of any state, county, or town agency. Approval subject to number.
It is presented.
It is presented. That's all.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Koso?
Aye.
Mr. Giardina?
Aye.
Mr. Mixel?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Urbino?
Aye.
Mr. Kashani?
All right, well,
Motion for final.
and there's nothing else, I don't see anything to change, you guys are all set for that, right?
Make a motion for final approval for the telecommunications tower generator. Subject to project review committee comments. Subject to preliminary approval conditions. Subject to all applicable governmental fees. Subject to Department of Public Works approvals. Significant construction shall occur within 1 year of being that planning board to expire on January 4th, 2023. Additions to preliminary and final approval.
Speak up.
depicted on the cover page of the final design plan.
Can't hear you.
I'm sorry? Oh, I can't hear you.
Subject to resolution of final approved minutes. Approvals are subject to the drawing that is presented. That's a motion.
Second.
All right, Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Giardina?
Aye.
Mr. Mixel?
Aye.
Mr. Koso?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Urbino?
Aye.
Mr. Kashani?
Okay, that part's, I guess you're all set with that. Are you representing the next part too?
I'm here for the next one as well.
Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
570 Klem Road telecommunications tower co-location dish network located at 570 Klem Road. Applicant Dish Network is requesting preliminary final site plan approval to allow the co-location and installation of 6 antenna, 1 antenna platform mount and associated ground equipment for Dish Network within the existing tower area on a 0.1 acre parcel located in an R-2 single-family residential district under the Code of Town of Webster.
Okay, so, We've already established we have an existing cell tower. American Tower owns it. Dish Network is looking to be a new tenant on that tower. Currently, there's 2 other carriers on there. This would be the 3rd carrier. Dish Network is trying to set itself up across the country as the 4th carrier, basically to replace Sprint that was acquired by T-Mobile. There is a typo in the application. It is only 3 antennas, not 6.
Yeah.
The plans and the structural analysis were correct. They both show 3 antennas. It was just on the application itself. But basically, they're looking to install 3 antennas on the tower at 94 feet. This is a 119-foot tower. 6 radio units, 1 surge protector, and 1 cable. A concrete pad, or I'm sorry, a metal platform, 5 foot by 7 on the ground, within the fenced compound, which would house 1 cabinet and a couple utility boxes. So the tower's not getting higher, nothing's getting larger. It's basically a 3rd tenant to the tower itself, within the existing area.
You know what? You don't have any idea what he's doing. If you'd like to take a look at it, you can see the 3 pieces. He's more than welcome to take this.
No, they don't live there.
No.
They left.
Okay. Okay, it's a pretty, the top of the tower, then the antennas and so on that are up there, this is below that. There's 3 discs, one on each side kind of going around. That's all it is really set up. So there's no modification to the tower. It's no taller, nothing like that. This transmits no sound, nothing. Pretty simple.
That's what I usually like to say. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is.
The tower's been around, it's already had carriers added to it. This is just another one,
Yeah.
which is what towns like to see. More carriers on one tower instead of multiple towers spread all over.
Those 3 antennas, but you mentioned 6 radio units?
Okay, so the antennas are panel antennas. They're roughly about, I'm not sure exactly what these are, anywhere between 6 and 8 feet tall, about 1.5 foot wide. So there's 3 of those, and it's a 3-sector tower. On 3 sides, it'll be like a triangle on the tower itself. Each antenna points in a different direction. The radio units are little boxes. They're about 15 inches by 15 inches. They're mounted behind antennas. The radio unit is actually what does the transmitting and the receiving. That's where all the technology is located. And then it's sent out as a signal through the antenna. So the radio units are smaller, they're mounted behind. And then there's 1 new cable that goes up the tower. Nowadays, they don't run individual coax. It's all hybrid cables. Versus in the old days, they used to have to run, for 3 antennas, they could be running 9 cables. Now they run 1. It contains the fiber and the power within the 1 cable.
Okay. Again, this is a public hearing, so if there is anyone wishing to speak in regard to it, if not, then we'll close the public hearing. We'll back up. Jared, Jen, anything?
No, good.
It's pretty cut and dry finish.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with it. All right. Move forward.
So again, since there's nothing new, existing structure, it's just a big attic, it's an appurtenance to the existing structure. The Town of Webster Planning Board consider request by applicant Dish Network co-locate and install 3 antennas, 1 antenna platform mount, and associated ground equipment for Dish Network within an existing tower area on a 0.18 acre parcel having SBO number 063.04-1-10.2/WEB located at 570 Klem Road. The planning board classifies the proposed action as a type 2 action under section 617.5C9 of the state environmental water review regulations, and therefore is not subject to further review.
I'll second.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Arena?
Aye.
Mr. Giardina? Mr. Mixel?
Aye.
Mr. Kosel?
Aye.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Kashani?
Make a motion for preliminary approval. 570 Klem Road telecommunication tower co-location for dish network. Subject to PRC comments. All improvements should be constructed according to specification of the town of Webster. Comply with all requirements of any state, county, or town agency. Approvals are subject to the drawing as presented.
Second.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Mixel?
Aye.
Mr. Giardina?
Aye.
Mr. Kosel?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Arena?
Aye.
Mr. Kashani?
Make a motion for final approval for 570 Klem Road telecommunications tower for location for dish network. Subject to project review committee comments. Subject to preliminary approval conditions. Subject to all applicable governmental fees. Subject to Department of Public Works approvals. Significant construction shall occur within 1 year as deemed by the planning board to expire on January 4th, 2022. Conditions of preliminary and final approval are depicted on the cover page of the final design plans. Subject to resolution of final approved minutes. Approvals are subject to drawing as presented.
Second.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Mixel?
Aye.
Mr. Giardina?
Aye.
Mr. Kosel?
Aye.
Mr. Anderson?
Aye.
Mr. Arena?
Aye.
Mr. Kashani?
Aye. Okay, you're all set.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thanks for coming in, appreciate that.